Hello, it's Jess. I'm doing my creative HE homework this week again, and we've been asked by Professor David Gauntlet to think about serious play using Lego and how we would build upon that using different materials or embellish the process in some way to take it a step further. I really have been thinking about this afternoon because I have done a serious play workshop. In fact, I've done a couple in the past and found them quite useful things in terms of thinking about my role, the role of libraries in general, and various of the questions that were posed in those workshops. I personally find the idea of using a metaphor to describe a problem and work around it quite a good one. It works well for me. But the more I was thinking about how to embellish it and how to make it different, I was thinking, oh, you could put different toys in it, or you could, and I was thinking the way that children maybe use recyclable materials to create monsters and something along those lines. And I thought, well, actually, it's not really about the creating the thing, it's using the third party in order to facilitate a conversation. Using an inanimate object as a jumping point for being able to say things that you normally maybe not would feel that comfortable saying. So I've been thinking along the lines of how human beings find it quite... it's not very often that you actually sit down with another person and just talk to them without having something to kind of talk about. And I think it's the talking about the thing that makes it a learning process or a reflective process. So if you're in a couple, quite often I've found in my relationships that some of the best conversation you have is over a dinner. So you're eating together, and the third thing, the food or whatever, is the thing that allows you almost, it gives you that freedom to be able to have a deeper, more meaningful conversation, which isn't really even about food or whatever. It's just that having that third item makes it, the process of communication, almost less awkward. Because it is awkward, isn't it, communicating with people, looking them in the eye. Can be quite hard. When I was younger, I went to a youth theatre and we spent, hours and hours and hours practicing maintaining eye contact with people, and that stood me in really good stead now, because I do feel a lot more confident standing in front of a classroom and being able to maintain eye contact with students, and in general with the world around me. It makes me appear a more confident a person than I maybe am because I can do that. But having this third object, talking about something rather than to each other, really does help. And this spiraled me off in thinking about all sorts of things that I do in my life that actually I think are really important in terms of my friendships, but we're not talking to each other, we're talking about stuff. So, like, I love reading. I've been in a book club before. I know people who have quite good friendships maintained within their book club, but they're not talking to each other, they're talking about a physical thing. And I know that, like, I used to occasionally do a podcast with my friend, and we found that we had some really good conversations that we recorded, but it was so much easier when I had the books in my hand that I could talk about. Having something in your hand physically, like if I've got a pen in my hand physically now, I feel more relaxed in talking, even though I'm alone in this room and I'm talking to a camera. It's very odd. There must be some sort of psychological reason for that. Board games are another, I think, really good example, because I know quite a lot of people play board games recreationally, and they do meet up. I mean, myself and my friends meet up and we occasionally will play a board game together, quite geekily. It'll be like a Game of Thrones themed board game or a Lord of the Rings themed board game or what have you. But it maintains our friendship because it's about something that it's not us. And this idea that you can build upon this established Lego serious play thing with other things, I don't think that's the thing. I think we need to be looking at social groups and how they're maintained by inanimate objects, and how you can use that in order to create a classroom environment where people feel more comfortable with each other, more like they can contribute, because I think when you do play a board game you take it in turns, or when you're in a book club you take it in turns to talk, so there is an established social norm. Whereas if you're in front of a classroom and you're just standing and talking at the class and you're waiting for them to respond to you, because that social norm of who gets to speak next hasn't been established, then I think that might be something worth investigating. Something that came to mind in my head was the idea of almost the therapeutic thing that comes when you hold something, say like a doll, or something that means it's somebody's turn to talk. Societies have things that mean that in meetings you can talk. Why don't we have those in the classroom? Why don't we have the conch in the classroom? Or why don't we have it established game parameters within the teaching? I think I would get a lot more response when I say to students, do you understand this? Is there anything else you want me to look at? Do you want anything to be shown? If it was more kind of, I don't know, there were more rules. I don't know. Anyway, these are just my thoughts. I might do another video of me actually doing some serious play, because I really do like it and I find it quite useful. I'm also finding the videos themselves quite therapeutic and helping me get my thoughts out. So I'm really thankful that this course has allowed me to experiment, really. But yeah, if you've got any thoughts about what I've said, then let me know.